Hey guys, Daddy's back. It's 12:30, lunchtime here in Saudi Arabia. Hence I thought it'd be a really good idea to go outside at the sunniest time of the day to read you chapter 3 of Darkmouth. So I'm heading from my villa over to the pool area, which is over here somewhere. There's a fountain you might be able to see going on, a little pool. Really busy at this time of day. Let's see where I can find to sit and read you this next chapter, hey? Oh, door seems to be locked there. Pool looks not bad though. What do you reckon, boys? There's a nice seat over here in the shade. This looks perfect. Okay. Hope you're well. Got your teeth brushed. Right, are your cousins there? If they are, hello George. Hello Emily. Welcome to Daddy Book Hour. Uncle Davin's there, tell him to stop talking about Cambridge bricks. Alright, so where were we? So if I remember rightly, Finn was chasing down a Minotaur. He'd lost the Minotaur and the Minotaur had found him. So here we go, chapter 3. Naturally, Finn fled. As he did, several thoughts went through his head, mainly to do with whether he should turn and shoot or find a hiding spot, or whether he had time to stop and fling aside his clattering armour. For its part, as it chased him, the Minotaur had only a single thought in its head. Finn was better off not knowing just how many times the word gouge featured in it. Finn ran down the laneway as fast as his rattling fighting suit would allow. His breath was hot inside his helmet, his weapon flailing from a strap around his wrist. He spotted a gap and turned into it just before the Minotaur reached him. Phew! The creature smashed into a dead end, throwing up a cloud of brick dust and drool. Finn pushed on, darting across the alleys, stumbling round the corners, squeezing through gaps, until it occurred to him that the only sound he could hear above the noise of his suit was that of his own panting. With some effort he persuaded his legs to stop running. Crouching at a corner, he looked around for any sign of Minotaurs, and there wasn't any. He sank down, feeling the rivets of sweat running down his cheek, the itchiness of his suit, and the thump of his heart in his chest. There was a rustle close by, the briefest flicker of a shadow. Dad? Dad? Is that you? And then the Minotaur burst through a wall in front of him. Finn collapsed with dreadful force into the laneway, the Minotaur's horns scraping and sparkling off the concrete before righting itself and looming over him. Finn raised his desiccator, but the Minotaur reached out a huge arm and swiped at him with his hand. Backed up against the brick, Finn could taste the deathly sourness of the Minotaur's breath and see the deep blackness of its mouth. He was briefly mesmerised by the radiance of that fat diamond ring lodged in the legend's nose. Finn tried to think of a way out, of a fighting move his father had taught him, a plan, an escape route, anything other than just giving in to the inevitable pounding. Thought that he was about to die. As it poised to strike, the Minotaur still had one thought in its head, although it had evolved to include repeated use of the word maim. If this legend had been a little less single-minded, however, it might have realised that the silver of time it took to move in for the kill was long enough for a shadow to pass above it, and the boy for that shadow to grow larger and darker, for it to become solid as it bounced across the creature's great skull and landed behind it. The Minotaur turned. The armour of this new human shimmered. It was hard to focus on. He seemed to be there, yet not there. The figure carried a weapon similar to the boy's, but larger, and the Minotaur knew instantly who he now faced. This was not a legend hunter. This was the legend hunter. The Minotaur had moved barely a centimetre in attack, before it was struck by the glowing net of the legend hunter's weapon. For the briefest of moments it was frozen in an all-enveloping web of sparkling blue. Then, with the stiflest whoop, the Minotaur imploded. All that was left was a solid, hairy sphere, no bigger than a tennis ball. Do you want to see? That was all that was left of the Minotaur. But who was this hunter? The legend hunter remained steady. A thin wisp of blue smoke drifted from the barrel of his weapon. "Bullseye," he said, popping open his visor to reveal a face as solid as the helmet, and an obvious delight at his quip. Finn picked himself up off the ground and glared at him. "Where were you, Dad?" End of chapter 3.